Well, welcome everyone to the follow-up after show, kind of our web extra for viewers that watch the big show. And typically doing the big show or the follow-up, we have some really good guests, good information, and we can't get it all in during the live show, so we get an opportunity to share some new knowledge in the after show. And Julie Cassidy, a policy analyst with the Michigan League for Public Policy, she's joining us remote again. She was on the big show. We've got more to talk about, Julie. We did sort of focus on the cut to this emergency allotment to SNAP, which ended 1st of March. Kind of hashed that out a little bit. Now we're going to touch on sort of cuts to housing assistance that I think the viewers need to know about. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, as I'm sure many of your viewers are aware because they have experienced it personally, there is in many communities a crisis level shortage of affordable housing. There was a COVID emergency rental assistance program put in place in Michigan using federal relief funds um, to help people avoid eviction if they fell behind on their rent or utility bills. And unfortunately, that money ran out in October. The program stopped accepting applications then, but we know there are still so many people experiencing housing instability in Michigan, um, falling behind on their rent, fearing eviction. And so we really um, are hoping for some resources from the state or federal government in this budget cycle to continue that program. We were recommending about $40 million for the year in the state budget to continue providing rental assistance to vulnerable families. Unfortunately, the governor did not include that in her budget recommendation. So that's something we are continuing to talk to our state lawmakers about, really stressing the importance of that. However, there have been some positive developments on the housing front recently. Something that we've been advocating for a long time is a sustainable source of revenue for the Michigan Housing and Community Development Fund. This is a trust fund that provides incentives to developers of affordable housing so that they are able to offer it at rents affordable to people with low incomes. And in the past, this fund had only been funded twice with just some very limited one-time funding. And in legislation just signed recently to expand the state's earned income tax credit and eliminate the pension tax, there was also a provision included to dedicate $50 million from the corporate income tax every year, starting this year, to the Housing and Community Development Fund. So, uh, while there is still definitely a need for, a direct rental assistance program, we are so excited to get this uh, dedicated revenue source, this consistent funding source to help increase the supply of housing and just sort of ease some of the pressures on the housing market right now.
That's
So
good.
that's really
Yeah, it might take a little time, like for the earned income tax credit to take effect, but at least we're moving
mhm.
in a positive direction with that, and it'll be difficult until we get there. But I'm glad you mentioned that, some positive news. And then we're just going to kind of end the after show segment talking a little bit about the Michigan League for Public Policy, which you're a policy analyst. I think the viewers would like to know more about you and what is MLPP all about.
Sure. Well, the Michigan League for Public Policy is a nonpartisan policy institute dedicated to economic opportunity for all. We really try to analyze and address poverty in a comprehensive way, and all of our work is done through a racial equity lens. So we use data to educate, advocate, and fight for policy solutions that um, undo racial and economic inequities to lift up Michiganders who have been left out of prosperity.
Well, that's awesome. Well, you're a great advocate for your organization. You're a good advocate for working families in need, and we appreciate the time here in the big show and also on the after show. Thank you. Thanks for joining us, Julie.
Yep. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you, viewers, for joining us for the after show.